person, and I owe a lot of that to Renee and to the team. And so I understand where she's coming from, where she says that, OSPH, or I think they call it Lady-O, Lady-O was grooming us for this day. And, I think she might be kind of right. And as silly as that sounds, I mean, like I said, I think it was 5 years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago was the first time I stepped foot in this building. And, like I said, the only other feeling I've ever had, like I've had with this building, was Hillview Manor. And I never wanted to leave the building. And I guess it was something I talked about purchasing a long, long time ago, because, when I was here 5 or 6 years ago, the building was not in very good shape back then either. And I felt sorry for the building. I mean, I actually had feelings for the building, like, why are they treating you this way? I mean, and some of the things that, if you've been in the building before, were just simple little fixes. One of the big leaks that was in, the main floor downstairs was, it was a copper fitting that was just leaking that, it took me about 3 minutes to fix, and it was 59 cents. But, after talking to Renee, it was like that for 3.5 years.
Yes,
and
it
I
was.
I just got, I got frustrated. I was like, how could you treat this poor building like that? And, and that's when I started walking through the building, back then, being like, okay, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to do this. And then I look back and I'm like, wait, I don't know this building. And, but like I said, I think she was right. I think there was a part of the building that was actually grooming me for what was up and coming. And, when I walked in the door the day we bought it, we actually started working on the building prior to purchasing it. And, we did. We walked in the door and we walked through it. And Renee and I did a tour of the building. And the first thing we did was fix all the leaks. We fixed all of the things that were causing more damage to the building. And then we moved forward with doing the neglect that she's had over the last 15 years. And, we're not doing this half-hearted. We're doing this the right way. We're ripping down walls, and we're doing it so that the building, she feels the pride, and she feels, refreshed, and she feels like she's getting the attention she needs. And I think she's starting to start singing again, which is kind of cool. Like I said, the activity levels are picking up, and I think Renee had actually had a conversation that she talked to, and I'm going to probably get this wrong because there's just so much that goes through my head, but she was talking to a psychic that actually was like way out of town, I think another state or something, and the psychic was, picking up energy from the building and spirits from the building, and one of the things that the spirits had actually told her was that the smell was gone, and that the occupants or the residents of the building were actually happy that we were getting rid of that nasty smell. And, like I said, that was one of the first things that we wanted to take care of, was to get rid of that mold and to get rid of that yuck. And, that's what we're doing. So thank you, Renee. Thank you for helping me get groomed.
Well, I am so impressed, because it's just, I can't even imagine walking. I was there shortly before the auction for an event, and I cannot imagine walking in the doors of that building knowing that I was going to be the person responsible for fixing all of that stuff, and then trying to not be completely overwhelmed. I can't see that. That's just, and like we've only got a minute before our break, but you were so brave.
That was those, remember I talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, where those sleepless nights where I was laying in bed going, what the heck did I just do? That's exactly what it was.
Yep. I know that I would have had them too, and I don't know that I would have had the courage to sign that check. I really don't. But but you did.
Yeah, fortunately, like I said, this isn't an income issue for me. So if it took longer than we anticipated to open the doors, which it might, it's not something that financially is burdening me at the moment. Now, if it goes on for 3 or 4 or 5 years, then, obviously the burden becomes, heavier. But, it's not an issue. Like I said, it's not an issue where, the building's paid, I paid for the building and we're paying for all of the fixing. And, there's some costs coming up here pretty soon that we've got to look into stuff too. But, like I said, it's not something that financially, hopefully, will destroy me.
I think it would be more the work, the level of work.
Yeah.
And that being said, we have to take a little 3-minute break. We will be right back. Y'all just enjoy.
Son of a...
Hey, son.
Mother...
Son, what are you doing?
Hey, Mom. I'm getting ready to listen to Periscope Uncensored.
By expanding your vocabulary.
Well, it is uncensored.
Son, the uncensored part of Periscope Uncensored is Jax and I getting down to brass tacks with all aspects of the paranormal. There's no fluff on our show.
So, no off-color commentary?
I didn't say that.
Awesome! What?
Son?
I just hit my head.
Oh boy, I'll go get you an ice pack. Catch Periscope Uncensored Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting. The best in paranormal talk radio.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour. And we are back. I am so excited to be back. I am having a good time with this conversation, and Ronnie Dee is the guy that is just blowing my mind with all the things that he's got going on. I know the team that he's working with. They are fantastic people. There's a good representation from different groups that I investigate with, and I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm proud to know them because they are the kind of people that you can absolutely envision stepping up and getting this stuff taken care of. So you have really, Ronnie, found some good people to work with.
Oh, fantastic people to work with.
Yes. And how did they all just start showing up? Did you put the word out?
I didn't. What had happened was I actually, so back in January when I got wind that the hospital was going to go up for sale, I started doing some research, and I think I was here. I think it was probably the end of January to talk. First thing I had to do was I had to talk to City Hall. To make sure that, number one, everybody knows that the building was zoned medical instead of commercial. So I had to go through to make sure that the dream that we wanted to accomplish was actually achievable, because if the state of Tennessee didn't allow us to go from medical one to commercial one tourism, we could never open the building ever again for anybody to walk into, because you can't run a business out of a medical facility. So I had to have a meeting with the city of Tennessee, or the state of Tennessee, as well as the city, because they kind of work hand in hand to rezone the building. So I did that, and then once I got the go-ahead to move forward, it's kind of funny, but I actually had an investigation scheduled for, I think, the second week of February. So I had come down to do my investigation in the building with my team in February. And once again, we talked to City Hall, and we talked to a bunch of other people down here. And I talked to Stacy, who was obviously the manager of the building, and she actually started dropping some names of volunteers. So then what happened was I just kind of went on Facebook and I pulled up the names of the people that she was talking about, and one thing kind of led to the other, and I was introduced to some people whose names I won't mention that were originally the people that I was entrusting to help me with the building. And then some of these people that I had talked to, actually one of them referred me to Renee. And that's how I met Renee, was kind of through a third party. And then Renee and I had sat down, and I think we talked or something like that. Actually, what I think happened, to be really honest with you, and Renee is going to probably correct me on this, but I think I was actually in the building, and I was talking to her via Facebook Messenger, and we were chatting back and forth, and she had mentioned to me, she says, well, I really want to meet you. And I said, well, come to the hospital. I'm here. And she was like, really? We're like chatting back and forth on Messenger, and you're here. So she got in the car and she drove over here, and we had a nice long conversation, and she had felt me out and, kind of got a sense of the kind of person I was. And like I said, it was a pretty instant connection with her and I. And so she, just from that point on, I said, you know what, Renee? I said, you're the one I want. I want you to become the property manager. I want you to manage the building for me. I want you to get this ball rolling. And she took the bull by the horns, and she was the one who started connecting me with the Daniels and the Darlas and everybody who's all involved in the hospital. And it just kind of snowballed. And like I said, we just kind of started on meeting. And, one of the things I think that I really gained a lot of respect from my team is that, the old management ownership didn't really do anything with the building, in terms of manual labor or taking care of the building or doing anything, beyond being here telling people what to do. And I'm actually 100% the opposite way. I'm the guy who's, here and tearing down walls and fixing stuff. And I'm a very hands-on person. And I don't expect anybody to do something that I myself wouldn't do. And I think that's what the team really kind of respected about me. And I think that was a really big change of what they were used to, was seeing somebody come in and being part of the group. I don't stand around and boss people around and say, you do this and you do that, and I'm going to go out to the deck and have some bonbons and cherry Coke while you guys are all slaving away. I'm in there with them, shoulder to shoulder. I'm part of the team. I'm tearing down walls. I'm painting. I'm doing everything that they're doing. And I think that's one of the things that kind of won a lot of our team over is that I don't think that they were used to having that type of a manager or owner who is so involved and so, just part of everything that they're part of. And, I to a fault, I do. I love, the building, and I love the construction and the deconstruction and the pulling this up and doing that up. And, I really enjoy that. And I think that was infectious. I think once, they saw that, they were like, hey, this guy's serious. He really, really has a goal in mind, and he really wants to make this, a Class A place. And so it was very easy from that point forward, because I think that, that the team and I just meshed really quickly, because they knew that, that I wasn't going to stand back and let them do all the work. That, I'm in the trenches with them. I'm part of them. I mean, I'm not that owner who, sits by conference call and say, okay, I want this done, this done, this done, this done, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. No, I'm here with them and, tearing down walls and putting up walls and doing that kind of stuff. And so I think that's why it became so very easy for all of us to get along really well together. And I think there's a lot of respect. that they have for me because I do